wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.
Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
It's a bit cool this Tuesday morning, October the 14th. Great to be in your company. I'm Shane Seeley, holding on for Pearson Bowen as I take you through your morning session. So get whatever makes you comfortable and let's get going. As I said, it's cool, nice and sweet. The rain is keeping most of you in bed cuddled up if you're here in Barbados with us. Thank you for joining us from the diaspora, whether you're in the UK, you are with us in New York, anywhere in the US, anywhere in the world. Good to have you in our company as we take you through your morning. So yes, we've had a lot of overnight showers, a lot of activity as far as the rain is concerned, and so much so that a flash flood warning is in effect for Barbados. So the Met Office doing some work, making sure that we are covered as far as the information is concerned. So yes, we're under a flash flood warning. So there's a high possibility of significant flooding, which will result in runoff from higher elevations. Yes, Barbados for the most part is flat, but we do see some of that flash flooding, especially in those central communities. Soil erosion on exposed or scarred land surfaces may also be expected. Water settlements on roads and fields. So adjustment to water levels of existing ponds and other similar bodies of water. And large objects or debris from higher elevations that is, becoming embedded with fast moving water flows. So just know that we do have a flood warning in effect for Barbados. It was issued this morning at minutes to 5, about 19 minutes to 5. So we'll keep you informed about what you can expect as far as the weather is concerned right here on Mornin Barbados. And those showers continue. There have been some light sprinkles leading up to 6, but those may intensify. There is a approximately 45% chance of you seeing some rain wherever you are here in Barbados. So usual advice, if you're going out on the road, you need that umbrella, and just be careful for any cars passing, puddles along the road. You don't want to get splashed as you make your way to your destination, whether it be school, work, or even those of you getting in that early morning exercise. We want you to just be safe on our roads. Remember, yesterday our friends from Cooperators General would have told you about that defensive driving. So if you do see a puddle, slow down, and people are on the side of the road, let them not be splashed, and let everyone just get to their destination safely on this Tuesday morning. We got so much to talk about as usual as we take you through your morning paces. So get your cup of goodness and let's go down the road. Of course, many of you greeting us online, and we'll share some of that activity with you, that morning buzz. But of course, charity is always the best way to do things. So we're going to talk about some more philanthropy today on Mornin Barbados as we speak to Robin Eiffel and Lemuel Taylor, and they'll be sharing how we can connect and care with the Connect and Care charity. Should be an interesting conversation. Lalu Hanneman, the stylish Lalu Hanneman, he'll be spending some time with us, telling us about his latest endeavor, and then we'll get into some more arts. Last week we spoke about some of the activities which were on the weekend. We'll get into some more activity, looking at some of the art that you may see as you pass the roads, and you may just take a look and say, this is a nice piece of art, but you'll meet the man behind some of the best murals that we are seeing popping up around Barbados. So that should be an interesting conversation. So a lot to talk about as we take you through the morning. Of course, we love to hear from you, so continue to share those comments online so that we can see exactly where you are and what's happening. Tell us how you're feeling and, just say hello. It's good to hear from you. Of course, we've been paying tribute to our former colleague, Doug Hoyt, stalwart really in the business of presentation, of TV, of Morning Barbados and news. So he was really one that he shone the light for all of us to follow. So we're taking some look at the highlights of Doug. Who was he? Who was he as a presenter? Who was he as a personality? Definitely one who many people connected with. So we want to share more moments which Doug Hoyt would have spent with you as you, got up and shared that time with us here on Morning Barbados and in other spaces. So I think we have that one lined up for you. Let's take a look at more of what Doug Hoyt brought into your homes.
Hello, I'm Sean Green and welcome to another episode of The Faces of CBC as we continue to celebrate our 60th anniversary of broadcasting. He was known for his large collection of ties and his catchphrase at the end of every newscast, "Strike up the band, we're going home." I'm talking about none other than Doug Hoyt. When Doug first joined the CBC in the late 80s, he came on as an assistant news editor before evolving into one of the island's most famous television personalities. From editor, he became news producer, executive producer, and eventually the main anchor for the CBC Evening News, and later served as general manager. Despite having a broadcasting career which spanned several decades, Doug says initially he was interested in doing a totally different type of communicating.
Well, I wanted to be a preacher or an entertainer, and I got to do both. I ended up preaching the gospel of news to audiences in America and ultimately in Barbados, and entertain at the same time. But it started many years ago in the 60s when I played the role of Alfie on Children's Party on Rediffusion with Joe Tudor. And I was the neighborhood kid, he was Dennis the Menace, and we would have these little skits, and that's how I kind of got involved in entertainment. And from that, while playing Alfie, I was hired as a reporter at Rediffusion. Okay. And that's where I really got my initial grounding. But my father had been a journalist all his life, so I was around, journalism. So that's where it all started for me.
You mentioned the United States, okay, before we even get to that, how old were you at this time? This is what, a teenager in your 20s?
No, 18.
Okay.
I started at Rediffusion as an 18-year-old reporter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long were you there, and what sort of stories you remember covering around that period?
I remember covering the Fogarty Fire. Yep, I was first on the scene for the Fogarty Fire. The Cape Shepherd Fire, the inaugural voyage of the QE2 to Barbados, and I lasted for 3 years at Rediffusion, but I had some great, how should I put it? Some great experiences there. I remember when the Archbishop of Canterbury, the Right Reverend Dr. I think it was Michael Ramsey, he visited Barbados, and there was a press conference at Bishop's Court, the residence of the bishop at the time, and there was some speculation about the Archbishop of Canterbury. And an aggressive young reporter like myself, I got to ask the first question, and it was the last question. of the press conference. It broke up and I got suspended for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, but how did that go? I mean, any of the press conference, yeah.
There and then.
Yeah.
But I mean, I felt good about it because I was that aggressive young reporter who wanted to take on all kinds of topics.
So at 21 now, you left Radio Fusion 3 years later, and what was next for you?
I served a short stint at Reuters, which evolved into Kana. Worked there with Harry Mears and Junior Evanson and people like that. And then I went off to study in the United States, studied journalism, and found that the experience I had was good enough to put me, among the ranks of some of the better journalists at the time, young journalists at the time. And so I worked in radio and then worked in television in the Tampa Bay area, worked with the independent TV station. Then I served at the ABC affiliate in Tampa.
Okay, so at which point then did you return to Barbados in terms to pursue or to continue your journalism?
I came back to Barbados in 1988, I think it was. And my good friend Sam Tate always encouraged me to come back and contribute because he knew what I was doing in the States. And I interviewed at CBC for the position of assistant news editor, and I got the job. Well, I served as an editor,
Right.
checking the scripts and doing all the things that the editors do. You know the drill. And one day there was all of the news presenters were ill. I mean, somebody was away and then the others were ill. And I said, okay, I'll read the news. And Tony Cumming, who was the acting GM at the time, he said, Mr. Hoyt, you think you're capable of reading the news? In his style. I said, well, it can't be that difficult. Everybody else is doing it. And so he sauntered off, and I read the news that night. And then the rest is history.
There's concern tonight on the island of Montserrat, where Hurricane Hugo also left its calling card. Picture this for a moment. At least 99% of the island's 12,000 inhabitants are said to be homeless. 6 people are reported killed there, and hundreds of others are reported to have been injured. St. Martin also had a taste of Hugo. Paul DeWint has the details.
The switchboard got jammed up with calls, and you want to know who was this Yankee reading the news, and the usual questions, and they obviously thought it was good, and so I kept reading the news. There was never really any bad stuff,
Good.
People just wanted to chat. They wanted to talk, wanted to know about me, wanted to know what I was about. I think that the best conversation I had, though, was with the late Dame Nita. She told me she watched the news to see what tie I was going to be wearing. Yeah. She said she knew the news beforehand, so she just wanted to see my tie, and that made me feel kind of good.
How many ties did you actually own?
Well, my tie collection ranged from 150 to about 1,000. It got so bad that I once had all my ties stolen. Yeah, and that was a pretty big event. It made the newspapers because I reported it. There's other things that were stolen from my apartment at the time.
Yeah.
And I said somebody took Doug Hoyt's ties, and the irony of it is that I had brought several of them to. I don't know if it was Mornin Barbados at the time. We did a show. I did a show with Melba called Meridian 60. And I think that we were talking about ties, and I brought in 100 or so to show off. And then a few weeks later, my ties disappeared. They found the culprit, and the person made restitution,
So after that, did you replenish the
Yeah, oh yeah, well you started back. Ties have been a fun thing for me. When I worked in television in the United States, all of the other young reporters, they had, or they could afford many suits, many jackets, a big wardrobe. Poor old Doug Hoyt couldn't. So I would buy ties and pocket squares, so it would look like I had a lot of clothes, and it just kind of caught on.
Ties and pocket squares. That's a good effort to make it seem. It's great to change it up and make things happen in that way. Over 100 ties, and at one point trending to 1,000 ties. That definitely, that's a lot of ties. I'm not a tie person, but to each his own. And he definitely looked good on screen, and of course, consummate professional and entertainer. We'll take a break and come back with more of Doug Hoyt and more of Mornin Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
It's all about Connect and Care charity and the work that these two gentlemen, who I'll introduce you to in a matter of moments, are doing in the community, helping families cope with, in some cases, cancer and other terminal illnesses, and navigating through the challenges associated with that. So let me welcome this morning Robin Eiffel, the founder and president of Connect and Care charity. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning.
And also Lemuel Taylor, he's vice president of the charity. Great to have you gentlemen on to talk about something that can be so difficult for families to deal with, to cope with, especially when you talk about things like cancer, terminal illness. This is heavy stuff.
Yes.
So let's start from the beginning then. Talk a bit about the charity and why did you decide to go the route in creating this charity to help in this way?
Well, back in 2018, when my mom retired, she was became terminally ill, and having to deal with her and see her go through that stage of any life care, and having to run to the hospital, doctor visits, then having to come to grips with it, the whole situation was a hard task. And seeing other people in the community as well that I know, I grew up with, people from church, people from, and being ill, and just having that care for people led me to do this, or to start this initiative, and that's how we got here today, because of that. and we want to put ourselves over there to help people because you can't do it alone. And it's a hard task, for families, because sometimes when you hear the news that a person's terminally ill, your loved one, it became heavy on people, and it's not so easy to deal with. Not so easy.
So you created the charity, you founded it. How many of you are working to really give back to the community in this way?
Right now, the committee is about 10 persons.
Okay.
We have someone, even in the States, that's on the committee as well.
Right.
I'm in conversation with a lady from Canada as well at the moment. So she's interested in us to be a part of it. So we have agents across countries that are willing to assist as well.
Now you have a vice president in Lemuel.
Yes.
Lemuel, good to have you on as well. Talk about connecting with your friend Robin.
Yes.
To make this a reality.
No, a little backstory. So this is actually my brother-in-law.
Okay.
So I would have been a part of the process of when, affectionately I just called her Mummy, right? And we all called her Mummy, when she was diagnosed with cancer. It was a long process in terms of dealing with the situation, and we had to find resources, we had to pull together as a family. I remember my wife, which would be Robin's little sister, getting up on mornings early around about this time to leave home by us and go over to help take care of her mom throughout the day while I was doing some other things. So it was a real intense period in our lives, and so when he approached me with the concept of what he wanted to do, I was all on board for it, because it's something that we need, the sense of community. And I really think that what we're doing here, even as Mornin Barbados, coming here, is that community spirit. That's what Barbados is known for, pulling together. I think we've lost a little bit of that in recent years, but really to get back to that place where we're pulling together as a community, that's really what we are about. And hence the name Care and Connect, because we want to care for one another, and we want to do that by connecting with others. And so one of the primary things that we're looking to do is to pull together resources and so on into a place where it is readily accessible for persons who will need assistance as they go forward.
So what are you seeing now? You mentioned the disconnect sometimes between persons in our community and your need and your willingness to try to fill and bridge that gap. What are some of the things you're doing currently in terms of helping those people in these similar situations? I mean, it was a difficult time for both of you, but it was almost like practice for what is now a new journey.
Yes.
Well, right now at the moment we are preparing to do some health fairs across Barbados, similar to the regathering situation. We want to do health fairs a parish every month from January. So we will be looking at different areas, blood pressure. As you see, the HIV cases are going up, cancer cases are going up. So we want to do all those testings. So we want to look at the whole man, the whole body. We want to make sure that that early testing is, as I said, the theme for it is health is wealth. So that's the theme for the health fairs next year. So January we'll be in Christchurch, St. Michael. February, St. Michael. Christchurch, and then St. Philip in March.
Yeah.
The rest will be posted on our page, on our Instagram page, and also our other social media pages.
And you could give our viewers the name for that page so that they can see how you're caring and connect with you and the team. So what's the page?
Yes, it's Care and Connect Barbados. So you just go on to Instagram and search for that, and you'll find us on Instagram. All right. Now, the thing about it is what we want to do at these health fairs. So just to give you a kind of an idea of what we're looking at, you'll know that persons, generally speaking, with health related situations. And I find it's an issue in Barbados a lot. Males don't really like to go. We don't like the doctor, right? Yeah. But one of the things that is really prohibitive is the concept of the cost of some of these things. So we hear, oh, go and get your prostate screening, for instance, and all these things that we are told to do. But the first thing that goes on in our minds is the cost is going to be high. So what we're going to be doing with the health fairs is providing free and or low cost testing, and in many cases rapid tests, that you can come to the health fair, get some information, interact with people, gather information, and also get your testing done on the spot as well. So we're going to be doing HIV rapid testing. We're going to be doing antigen testing, checking out for the liver, looking at all kinds of things. So it's not going to just be focused on cancer, but we're looking at a holistic approach where we're allowing persons to come and in less invasive ways, because when we think about prostate testing, for instance, there's more than one way than having fingers stuck where you don't want them, you understand? So
indeed.
Right? So we're going to be looking at doing those things and kind of getting us an awareness built up again, and an openness in conversation as well as to how we can really go after not just caring for persons with health challenges, but preventing them from getting to that point to start with.
Men don't like to hear about going to the doctor or a thing. I don't know if it's a pride thing. Luckily, you know, for me, I just think, you know, you find that doctor you're comfortable with, and just continue to have that relationship. And speaking of that alone, that is a partnership.
Right.
For instance, good morning, Dr. Thompson, between me and my doctor. What kind of partnerships are we talking about? Who are those people that you're working with to make these health fairs across the country, starting January next year, a reality?
Well, we reached out to Barbados Cancer Society. We reached out to the Ministry of Health as well. People Empowerment. Heart and Stroke Foundation, we reached out to them. We reached out to the Diabetes Association.
You're really covering your bases as far as the chronic diseases.
And that's the idea, to connect, to bring those things together, because sometimes I find that we were having this discussion off air, that there are resources there, but a lot of times people are not aware of where they can go to get the resources. So one of the things that we want to do, and that's the connect in our name, is to pull together and more or less create a space where all of the resources are aggregated in one place, that if you're looking for health, you know, related information, you know, you can come one place, so you don't have to hunt for these different organizations or whatever. We want to pull it together. Actually, there's a guest coming on after us, and we were having quite an interesting conversation backstage as well too, about connecting in that way. And so he's expressed interest in coming on board with what we're doing as well. And when he comes on, exactly, and this is what we want to do. So that is the whole concept. We're reaching out as we go, and not just with the established organizations that are known, but again, going back to that community level, that grassroots level, reaching out to persons in our own communities where we live, on our workplaces and everything. I've had a number of persons who work with me asking about what we're doing and wanting to get on board as well. So that's the concept behind what we're doing, trying to pull everybody together, and we think of each other as family. All right, so it's not just you over there, you know, cameraman over there in his small space. We're working together as a community to fight common enemies.
Yes, one unit to fight common enemies. Any venues in mind yet?
Not as yet. We're just going through the final stages now of getting the people on board. So we are seeking sponsors. We have, I think, a couple of nurses and medics that are willing already to lend the support as well to do testing. So we just out here reaching out to Barbados now, the whole of Barbados, volunteers, sponsors. We are here. We want to work with you, and we want you to work with us, and let us make Barbados a healthier place.
Yeah, it's cliche now, but teamwork definitely makes the dream work. And this is definitely a team effort that you're generating, trying to get more people on board. What would be the ideal scenario in terms of creating this space for these health fairs, in terms of the numbers of people that you would want on your team, and just so that you get that flow of persons in, not only to come and get those health checks, but on your side to help you deliver the health services at these health fairs?
The more the merrier, I'll put it like that. Because the idea is that the more hands we have on deck, the more work we are able to do. And the concept here again would be, if you have a resource person that you know, you mentioned your doctor, for instance, and your doctor might be interested in providing his services at one point in time, you know, to assist in that area. You could tell him, and we could get in contact, we could connect in that way. So the why we're even here this morning is to gather that awareness, to get that out there, so anyone who is interested in providing their services, they can come on board and join us.
Yeah.
And so it's not something that we're looking to cap necessarily and say, oh, 20 people, 30 people, 50 people. We're looking for all hands on deck. That's the approach that we're looking at.
Many hands make light work, for sure. So
Exactly.
give you that last opportunity to help viewers out there connect with you, connect with Care and Connect charity. Tell them how they can do that.
Email address is careandconnect@gmail.com. careandconnect246@gmail.com.
Right.
283-9595 is our number.
Yes.
It's got WhatsApp, or you can call 283-9595.
And you can also visit the Instagram page. That's Care and Connect Barbados.
Yes.
Care and Connect, CAREAND Connect Barbados.
Yes.
Yes, you visit that website, take a look, and the Instagram page as well, and just see how you can be a part of this new movement. It's really about helping those who are navigating illnesses. Final word from you?
Yes. So again, we want to emphasize that connection through care, or care through connection. Let's put it that way, right? Where we want to pull together everyone. We want to destigmatize disease. We want to destigmatize these challenges that we have, but we also want to provide preventative services where we can come together, build awareness so that we can avoid disease. And if we have to deal with disease, those resources to pull together that we can handle it well.
And ladies, come out and get your health checks too.
Yes.
Not only the men, it's for both of us.
Yes.
We need health as wealth, and we need to make sure that we not only build awareness, but we go out there, get your health status, know your health status, and of course, Care and Connect here helping you to do just that. They're starting an island-wide campaign of health fairs from January. We'll keep you informed right here on Mornin Barbados about where they will be. And as they told you, you can go to their pages and definitely connect with Robin and Lemuel. Y'all are doing great work. Thank you for coming and sharing it with us.
Thank you for having us
on Mornin Barbados. Yeah, a great conversation to start our morning. Many of those we will have here as we take you through your Tuesday on Mornin Barbados. Don't go anywhere.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados?
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Lalu Hanneman is here with me on the couch on this Tuesday morning to tell you all about what should be a new way of life that you can consider, veganism, and it's all about the Caribbean Vegetarian Vegan Charity. He's a trustee working to promote another interesting project. Good morning and good to have you on, Lalu.
Greetings, my brother.
Yes, appreciate your time. Vegan is a term for a lifestyle, and you're doing a lot that promotes that. Let's talk about the work that you're doing in that regard. Is it difficult to help people to have that mindset, to want to change or alter their lifestyle to one of veganism?
Well, it has to be said at the outset that veganism is really the diet of the future. If the planet is to survive, and maybe even the human species, we need to consider changing our environmental footprint. And a vegan diet has the smallest environmental footprint in terms of land use, for example. 5 times less land would be used to produce a pound of vegan protein compared to a pound of animal protein. In terms of water use, something like 3 times less water would be required. A lot of people think that if the world became vegan totally, we would need more land for more plants. Well, what people are omitting in that analysis is the fact that everybody, in fact, is eating plants. But they're eating it generally as second-hand plant eaters, because the animals eat the plants and then they eat the animals. But the animals have to be fed. And in America, for example, something like 80% of the maize, the corn produced, is for animal feed. And all of that land that's used to produce that animal feed can be used for human agriculture. In fact, they're saying if that corn was to be used for human consumption, we could feed the planet 5 times over. So it's very much the diet of the future.
And it's some of this information that I believe you will be sharing at what is the first Caribbean Vegan Conference. October 25th is the date. What's the venue?
The Marriott Hotel in Hastings.
Okay.
It's an all-day conference. We still have spaces available if people are interested. The number to call is 420-2022. That's 420-2022.
So at this conference, is it a chance to really promote and give people a better understanding, a better picture of what a life of veganism would look like?
Indeed. We're also focusing on legal issues. We've got something like a dozen lawyers, international lawyers, coming into Barbados.
Lawyers like yourself?
From Europe, from North America, from South America, and around the Caribbean as well. And the Chief Justice, Mr. Leslie Haynes, is actually opening the conference. And it's to promote veganism in general. And we're going to be talking about the environmental impact of veganism for the planet in terms of animal rights issues, in terms of human health issues. But the focus is on legal issues, how different judicial systems deal with people on a vegan diet who are incarcerated and or in various government institutions, and globally, not just in the region.
And I know you may have some people sitting on the fence saying, I'm considering going that route, but I still need some burning questions answered, like it being expensive, more costly to be on that vegan diet.
Well, that's a myth, with all due respect. If you're going to be buying these fancy products, I personally don't care for them, but like meat substitute type things, of course it would be expensive. But if you went down to Cheapside Market on a Saturday morning and you bought the range of vegetables available, then it's not expensive. In fact, the Rastafarian diet is generally a vegan diet, and it's not an expensive diet. I mean, as I said, if you want fancy imported pseudo products, replacement meat products and stuff, then yes, it will be expensive. But if you just eat what is available in terms of the local produce and so on, then it's not expensive at all. In fact, it's much cheaper than eating meat or fish.
and then differentiate between vegan and vegetarian. Is there a difference?
There is. A vegan has no animal products whatsoever. So there's nothing. There's no meat, there's no fish, there's no dairy products, and there's no honey. Whereas a vegetarian would have dairy and also honey in their diet, and of course eggs as well.
Oh, okay. And when you have your conversations, I mean, not only leading up to this conference, but generally, how many people would you say are now going the route of that vegan diet? What percentage?
Well, apparently in England currently, I've read a statistic saying 2.5 million. It's a growing trend, but they're doing it not for animal rights reasons or even health reasons. They're doing it for planetary reasons because of the environmental footprint of eating meat. We hear various politicians talking about climate change. But what they omit to focus on is the fact that a fifth of global warming gases is produced by the meat industry. I see in Europe now there's a fad to boycott aviation, air travel. But in fact, air travel only contributes 2% globally to climate change, whereas the meat industry contributes almost 20%. The United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change have said that that is the case. But yet people focus on as I said, on fossil fuel transport, which globally, including aviation, is like 13%. So it's less than meat production. So in fact, if you want to reduce your environmental footprint, the best diet to eat would be the vegan diet. And I see a number of people now are doing that. Al Gore has adopted that. I see King Charles twice a week apparently has a vegan diet. And a number of people historically, people like Rosa Parks, who was instrumental in the Montgomery bus boycott. She adopted a vegetarian diet. Going all the way back into history, people like Leonardo da Vinci, he was a vegetarian. Pythagoras, Tolstoy, a lot of people historically have been vegetarians or vegans.
I do feel your passion for veganism, and that's why I believe this conference will be so important in terms of not only breaking the barriers, but responding to those, as you call them, myths about veganism, and help people to, get over the fence and going in that direction. What are some of the other things that attendees can expect as they come to the conference geared up to get this information?
Well, we have a number of speakers, local speakers as well as regional and international speakers, talking about nutrition, talking about animal rights, talking about the legal implications involved of having the diet. So there'll be a diverse range of things. And in fact, we hear about antibiotic resistance. That's a very topical issue. In fact, our Prime Minister, she's one of the chairs of the UN's, co-chair of one of the UN committees on it. But in fact, what a lot of people omit to notice or to note is that 73% of antibiotics is being used in the animal industry. They use it not only to prevent the spread of diseases, but also to facilitate the growth of the animals. And so if you're serious about dealing with antimicrobial resistance, we have to target the fact that 73% of antibiotics are being used in the animal husbandry and fish farming industries.
AMR awareness is something that one of our doctors, Dr. Ford, really promotes in terms of helping Barbadians to understand the importance of what's going on with those antibiotics and misuse in many cases.
Precisely.
So as we digest this information from this first Caribbean Veganism Conference, what happens next? You collect the information, and then where do you go from there?
Well, it's about raising awareness and obviously disseminating it and hopefully getting more people to adopt that lifestyle. As I said in my introduction, it's the diet of the future. If we're serious about assisting the planet, if we're serious about our health, if we're serious about helping animals, then we have to reduce and eliminate, ideally, our meat and fish consumption, in effect.
Yes, I mean, it's a big task, a mammoth ask. I know many people find it hard to want to change that lifestyle, but if it promotes better health, that is a great reason why they should go the route of veganism. So just a reminder, when, where, what do they need to do to connect at this first Caribbean Veganism Conference?
It's at the Marriott Hotel, which is in Hastings on the south coast. It's on the 25th of October from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And there's still some spaces left. The number to call if you're interested in reserving a space, because you have to reserve a space, it's 420-2022. That's 420-2022. It's, as I said, Saturday the 25th of October.
What are some of the vegan favorites? Things that vegans like to eat?
Well, for me personally, I like things like rice and peas, traditional Caribbean food, plantains, whatever. I mean, the Rastafarian diet, the vegan Rastafarian diet is a healthy diet. Non-communicable diseases in the Caribbean is the main cause of mortality. And CARICOM has said this, and we've heard a lot of people speak about it. Your previous guests were speaking about it. But in reality, hypertension and diabetes amongst the Rastafarian community is very low. Professor Beckles of UWI has said that diabetes is in fact the legacy of slavery, the plantation lifestyle. Wow. But in fact, we're all independent actors. We can change our lifestyle, as the Rastafari have done. So really what we need to be looking at is adopting more of a Rastafarian diet. It's a healthier diet. And if that was done throughout the Caribbean, the incidence of hypertension and diabetes would be greatly reduced.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear the results coming out of the conference, the information that some of your speakers will share. Please stay connected with us so that we can definitely share the option with our audience, because people need the information, and the information, as you said, you will have those with those tools and those with the relevant sources that they can get the information they need. So you need, if you want to find out a bit more about veganism and where it can take you in terms of a healthier lifestyle, you know the place to go. Lalu Hanuman just told you. It is the first Caribbean Vegan Conference being held right here in Barbados. The Marriott is the place. Of course, we will continue to share information right here on Mornin Barbados about how you can get connected. Again, Lalu, thank you so much.
Much appreciated.
For sharing with us this morning. Interesting stuff. Veganism, I want to convince myself, but I'm open to it. I'm open to it, to trying to reducing the meat, at least for a few days a week, and see where it goes from there.
In fact,
step by step, baby steps, for me.
There's a campaign, Meat-Free Mondays.
Meat-Free Mondays.
Whereby every Monday you don't eat meat. At least it's a start.
Yes.
So you have a vegan or a vegetarian day. As I said, King Charles is doing that, twice a week apparently.
Mondays. Good transition. I'll try it. Thanks, Lalu.
Okay, my brother.
Appreciate your time. Appreciate it for sure. And we'll tell you more about this first Caribbean Vegan Conference and how you can go and get the information you need about veganism and the lifestyle. It is indeed that. Stick around. We got so much more to share with you here on this Tuesday edition of Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
At 7, we have our news and just for those viewers joining us a short while ago. 6:50 is your time. A flash flood warning is in effect for Barbados. What should you know? Well, you're encouraged to monitor all of the traditional sources of media and the media networks, a GIS website, for instance, so that you can get the information about this weather which is impacting Barbados. We've really had rain for most of the morning, and yes, a flash flood warning in effect from 19 minutes to 5 this morning. As far as general information goes, the warning is issued when a rapid flooding due to heavy or excessive rainfall is occurring or intermittent, generally within 2 hours. This flash flood warning was issued, as I said, 4:15 and will be updated at 12 noon or sooner if conditions warrant. For more information, you can always check out www.barbadosweather.org to find out the latest on this weather impacting Barbados. Showers of blessing, but be careful when you head out there. I really hope it doesn't put a damper on regathering activities which continue for the remainder of October. So many things happening. Liesel and Junior from the committee were here just yesterday telling us about the activities which happened earlier in the month. Oistins was lively. A big concert there, and entrepreneurship fair, and so many other activities, sporting events as well. A lot of cricket, I think it was, in Dover. So there are many things for you to go and see. Of course, you can check the website. Just put it in Google and you'll find all of the activities associated with regathering in Christchurch. The ministers were out in full force as well in the community. Let's take a look at what some of them were doing in their respective areas.
Now, one thing about our constituency, we know how to take charge. So I am pleading with every single one of you to come and be part of something special, something that will bring us together in a special year. Understanding who we are as a people, understanding who we are as a community, and of course, as true Haitians.
After activities planned, we're gathering for Christchurch. As I said, something for everybody. Craft, culture, knowledge base, partying, pan, food, drink, things for the children. It is a whole month of activities. Come out, Christchurch, this for you.
Night to spread the vibe, 2025.
Big up everybody. Christchurch to remember.
Christchurch to the world in this month of October as we continue to gather there. Just remember, you can check out all of the activities. There is a website. We'll tell you how you can be connected and gather in Christchurch during this month. So let's do some riddles now. And you can call us if you have the answer. Let's hear from you, 228-5562 or 228-5563. Let's get the brain percolating. We're going to stimulate you with some fun riddles here on this edition of Morning Barbados. So here's one for you. How many pairs of animals did Moses take with him on the ark? How many pairs of animals did Moses take with him on the ark? So you see the numbers there on your screen. If you know the answer to that one is actually pretty difficult. So let's hear if you have the answer to that riddle. 228-5562, 228-5563. And you can also participate online as well on our Facebook feed. Let's see what you're saying. Also on the YouTube channel, you can make those comments there and we'll try to put them up on screen if you have the correct answer. Or even if you don't, we'll just show it and tell you that's incorrect, try again. But yeah, so let's give you that question again. How many pairs of animals did Moses take with him on the ark? So let's hear you. 228-5562, 228-5563. It's good to hear when people get involved here with us on Morning Barbados. as we share these riddles. Some interesting ones do come up from time to time. That one may throw a bit of a curveball at you. We'll see how well you know your Bible. So I think we have a caller on the line. Good morning. Welcome.
Good
How are you doing this morning?
Good morning.
I'm not hearing anything. I'm not hearing anything.
You're not hearing me?
Ah, got you now. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good, thanks. For you?
I'm okay. So do you have the answer to the question? Let me repeat it for you. So you need to listen carefully. How many pairs of animals did Moses take with him on the ark?
Moses did not take any animals on the ark. It was Noah that took them.
I feel that you're reading this script. You are absolutely correct. And because you're correct, let me give you another one while you're here. Come. Let's try on this one. Some months have 30 days. And some months have 30 days. And some months have 31 days. How many of them have 28?
One.
We got a buzzer? I would like a buzzer. No, that's incorrect. That one is incorrect. You see, I tell you, you gotta think about this carefully. I'll ask you again. All right, good. Some months have 30 days. And some months have 31 days.
Yeah.
How many months have 28 days?
1 month.
Only 1 month got 28 days?
Oh, shucks. All the months.
I see. You gotta really pay attention to these, you know. I listen, most people, I'm telling you, most people would agree with you and give that first answer, just 1 month. Well, thank you for participating. You want one more?
I'll try.
You try one more? All right. Two men are in the desert. They both have packs on. One of them is dead. The guy who is alive has his pack open. The guy who is dead has his pack closed. What is the pack?
Can you repeat that?
I can. I will. Come. So we're going again with this one. Two men are in the desert. They both have packs on. One of them is dead. The guy who is alive has his pack open. The guy who is dead has his pack closed. What is in the pack?
The one that is closed or open?
But listen, I'll say this. You got 2 out of 3. This one may be a little tricky. This one is a little tricky.
You got me in this one.
Should I give her? Producer's team, should I give her? They said no. So we gotta
leave it to someone else.
Yeah, we leave that one to someone else. Thank you so much for participating and sharing with us. You got 2 out of 3. 66%. That's good. That's still good. You pass. Get a B minus. We'll see who can get that one on the other side of 7. Of course, coming up at 7, we have our news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
7 o'clock now, time for your CBC Morning News. Leading off, government is stepping up its efforts to arrest the vexing situation of overgrown lots, creating major public health risks across Barbados. From next month, landowners with overgrown lots will be issued with abatement notices to get their properties cleaned within 3 weeks. And if they don't, government will step in and do it and pass on the cost to these landowners, who will also have to pay a penalty for failing to comply. These new rules are outlined in an operational plan to address overgrown vegetation on housing lots. The plan was announced yesterday at the Ministry of Environment, National Beautification and the Blue and Green Economy. Our Anesta Henry has more on this story.
In the past, landowners would have been able to take as long as they want to comply with abatement notices to clean their overgrown lots. But that will no longer be the case. From November 1st, they will have 21 days to comply with the notices issued by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Project Officer of the Operational Plan to Address Overgrown Vegetation on Housing Lots, Ronald Chapman, says if the property is not cleaned within the specified 3 weeks, the landowner will get an administrative penalty of $300. And they will also have to pay an additional $10 for every day or part thereof the land remains overgrown.
Within this program, to ensure that we get the property cleaned, those lots are then handed over to the Ministry of Environment, where the NCC will go ahead and clean the lots. Once those lots have been cleaned, then we verify, and the bill is sent to the person who owns the lots.
The new plan also prioritizes which lots will be cleaned first.
So the lots which we recognize as either a health risk, a significant health risk, or a security risk will be those lots we try to deal with it quickly.
Landowners issued with a notice have the right to apply to a relief board if they have financial or physical constraints or may need extra time to get the lots cleaned because of weather conditions. Touted as a cleanup campaign, the plan is a collaboration between the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the Ministry of Environment, National Beautification, and the Blue and Green Economy. Minister of Environment and National Beautification, Adrian Ford, says the plan will also target state-owned properties.
This is not a do as I say and not as I do government. I just want Barbadians and every single person in listening scope of my voice to understand one of the most important things is that government must pass the litmus test to every single person as it relates to their properties.
And Minister of State in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Davidson Ishmael, says these plans are being implemented at this stage to reduce vector-borne diseases.
Because a lot of these persons find their way where? At the hospital, at the A&E, when their symptoms become very harsh. So, and then what happens there is that when they are receiving care, it then creates then in some cases, a bottleneck in the system, which then can affect other persons who are coming in for other cases as well.
The plan operationalizes the Health Services Regulations 2024 as it relates to overgrown vegetation on housing lots. It sets out a 3-week public sensitization campaign starting this week. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
People coming to Barbados under the CARICOM Full Free Movement regime will have to meet all job requirements before they can work here in Barbados. Minister of Home Affairs and Information Wilfred Abrams made that clear in Parliament as he led off debate on the Caribbean Community Free Movement of Nationals Bill 2025. The Full Free Movement regime began on October 1st and includes Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
I don't know how much clearer I can make it. If you are a doctor and you want to work in Barbados by the Full Free Movement, you have to satisfy all the requirements for being a doctor. If your degree is one that is not recognized by BAMP, or your qualification is one that's not recognized, but it don't matter that you practice in St. Vincent as a cardiothoracic surgeon. If you come here and BAMP does not recognize that, you can't practice in Barbados as a cardiothoracic surgeon. You can come and live, you can come and do something else. You can come and practice as a GP if we accept that qualification. But all of the requirements for working in Barbados that Bajans have to do, all the boxes we have to tick, the persons coming in, the nationals, the free-moving nationals have to tick those as well, sir.
Health and safety concerns at schools should be handled internally through health and safety committees before escalating to industrial action. This is the opinion of the Deputy Chief Education Officer, Julia Beckles, who is calling for health and safety committees at all schools to be active. Ms. Beckles was speaking at an awareness building session for health and safety committee chairpersons at the Erdeston Teachers Training College. The Deputy Chief Education Officer says there is a need for schools to be fit for purpose as the Ministry of Educational Transformation rolls out its ongoing education reform agenda.
Hoping that we will be able to foster that culture of collaboration on safety, which will see matters of safety being dealt with at the level of the school before they have to be reported to the union or even to us. Because in some cases, there are matters that can be fixed once management and the health and safety committees work together to bring resolution.
Deputy Chief Education Officer says there's a need for schools to be fit for purpose as the Ministry of Educational Transformation rolls out its ongoing educational reform agenda.
All schools have health and safety committees, and in that regard we can say that as it relates to the law, they have been stood up. In terms of who is actually doing, what they're supposed to do in terms of walkthroughs and checking, we don't have that information, but we can tell you that all schools have health and safety committees, and we are hoping that after today and some other interventions that we are going to put in place, that all of them, we will have 100% excited and forging ahead, ensuring that we have that culture of collaboration as it relates to safety and disaster risk reduction.
And finally in sports, a top Barbados drafts player, Winnell Neverson, is in the lead after 3 rounds of the Women's World Go As You Please title challenge. Playing in Italy, Neverson is first on 8 points, while Wilma Branch is fourth on 4. Meanwhile, former world champion Ronald Suki King is in third place after the first 2 rounds of the Men's World Go As You Please qualifiers. King is on 6 points and he trails 2 Italians in leaders Claudio Campani on 7 points and Luciano Cassiano also on 6. There are 4 other Barbadian players at the qualifier, those being Jack Francis, who is in 5th on 6 points, Colin Price 7th on 5 points, while Kent Lane and Junior Warren are tied for 11th on 4 points. That's a look at news and sports this morning. Of course, you will have more news coming your way at midday right here on CBC. We'll take a break. We've got more to share with you on this Tuesday morning. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Okay, we have a special guest in the building, in Nicolette Williams, who's a youth and adolescent specialist and psychotherapist. And she works with a Marina House, and it's all about helping young people with addiction to recover and move to a better stage of life, pulling from that dark space. Good to have you
Thank
on
you
the
very
show.
much. Thank
And you've been speaking and working a lot with the International Day of the Girl Child. That was Saturday.
Yes.
So you did something at Marina House?
Well, we do have a program called Teen Intervene. And in reference to celebrating that day, we go into the secondary schools and we work with the girls and the boys. But in celebration of the Day of the Girl, we actually focusing on the young women in the schools this week.
Okay.
Yes.
So this week you're focusing on the young ladies going into schools. Normally, what is that experience like and what is the feedback like? I think people would, especially the girls, would be really interested in knowing what they need to avoid.
Yes. So girls are very intrigued by certain topics. And
you say this with a smile on your face.
I say this with a smile because they're very excited to know. Right? They're very excited to know as compared to males. Mom, I would like to know what's going on. Why does my body feel this way? Why am I overthinking a lot? Why is it that, relationship topics, family topics, girls are more intrigued and interested to know about certain topics. So when I go into the schools under a Teen Intervene program, they're actually ready, willing, and open-minded to hear about substance use, hear about the biological differences that they experience in their body, the psychological issues that they actually go through, as well as how they relate to their mothers in particular that they have to learn about so that they can be better young women in society.
Do you have a checklist or a to-do list to tick off to ensure that you get the message across to these young ladies? Because we're living in a world of many vices and dangers, and we need to help them navigate and avoid those dangers at all costs. Some do fall by the wayside, but we want to have most of them, even when they do that, be able to get back on their feet and to continue their journey. How do you, this list of probably objectives you may have to make sure that these girls are on the straight and narrow?
Well, not every day is the same. Because when we go into the schools, we work with different age groups. So when we work with the juniors, we're more looking at psychoeducation when we talk about substance use and we talk about psychological issues. So some of those objectives are the same to the senior girls, but then they're also different because particularly with the senior girls, we look at other issues of psychological, other issues in terms of relationships with self, relationships with, as you go into the field of work, relationships with your parents. So some objectives are the same and some are very different.
And what's trending now?
Well, in terms of substance use?
Yes.
Well, we do have a lot of young girls that are very interested in alcoholism. And what we've recognized is that women versus men, they have a high impact to the use of alcoholism as compared to men. So when women use alcohol, because women have less body fat, more body fat than men, that then impacts the body more than the male. So then younger females, they're more interested in alcoholism.
Wow, yeah, that's an interesting one. And you're also celebrating a 10-year anniversary highlight, Decade of Hope.
Yes.
What's that about?
So we are 10 years at Marina House. So we're Verdant at Marina House.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you very much. Thank you. So we are celebrating 10 years this month, and we're actually going through the entire year to Drug Awareness Month in January. So this month we have a hike, we have a wellness day, we have a open house on Saturdays. We're actually celebrating in different churches around Barbados, and we're actually opening up to the public to let the public know that Marina House is a place of healing and hope and recovery for women and their children, not just women, but women and their children, because this is a place that recovery is not just one journey, or it doesn't look a particular way for men and women. It's just one particular journey that we help them day by day, hold their hand to healing.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what is the experience like coming through the doors of Marina House, seeking assistance, seeking that help to get back to some sense of normalcy in your life?
Well, we have a group of equipped, lovely women, and men, but as we're talking about women today,
I'll give you all that option.
we
Do
have
your
a
thing.
lovely group of experienced women, very beautiful women, including myself, and we welcome them with open arms. We're very non-judgmental. We are very friendly, very experienced. Where Marina House is, it's on the lovely coast of in St. John. Very secluded, peaceful, serene. Sometimes I don't even want to leave there. Sometimes our other staff members don't want to leave there because it's just so very quiet. And as women, we do experience a lot of noise as caregivers for our children, as persons being responsible at work. And we take on a lot. And if you can find a way to just escape, Marina House is that place to go. Just for a weekend, a day, a week. We have so many different services that we provide corporately for women in addiction, women that just want to break for their children and themselves, or just a little vacation. We do have that place like Marina House for you to come to.
Yeah, that serene setting would really aid and abet what is the recovery process. And, I can imagine how many people you help do just that, go through the paces to get back on their feet. What's next? 10-year journey, decade of hope. What's next for Marina House? I mean, we're going to get back to talking about the girls, but I just want to get a sense of where do you go next as Marina House in terms of helping those individuals in society and actually reaching out to them, because there's some people who don't know they need the help.
Yes, so we are out in the communities this month and throughout, as I said, so Drug Awareness Month. We do have an outreach program. We are actually going to be, as I said, in churches, different communities, going into homes and allowing women to know that there is a place like Marina House. We do have some recovering women who have gone through our program and have been there from day one and are still clean. So those women will be out in the communities telling their stories, as well as at Marina House, where we have our open day, telling their stories as well to different communities coming in, so that those community members can go out and encourage those persons that are struggling or experiencing some difficulties with drug abuse to come to Marina House so that they can get the help that they need.
And you mentioned the schools. Where do you go next on this tour?
Well, with our schools, we are actually, as I said, we are allowing the groups with the girls in particular to know more about how their bodies can be impacted by drug use. And eventually we will be bringing again one or two of those women in recovery to speak to those women about their story and how they have recovered over drug and alcoholism.
It's amazing work you do, sensitive too.
Yes.
Because you want to protect people's information, keep their information private, so that they can be on their journey without discrimination. Is that still a big stigma which is attached to addiction and recovery?
Oh, yes. We find it hard, let's be honest, we find it hard for women in particular who are stereotyped by being a person in addiction. You need to stay home with the child. You are the person in charge of the child. You can't leave the child. You can't leave work. You are the breadwinner. You are the person that has to, stay the course and do what you're supposed to do. But that female is actually suffering, struggling in silence, and they're just crying out for help. And if it is that we just remove those stereotypes and see that woman as just an individual who is just trying to get through life day by day, then the help is easier to execute to get her into rehabilitation. Because she has so many different roles, but she also is a being who has feelings. And when she comes into treatment, we just don't look at the addict, we look at the layers of that individual. We go from the root cause. We just don't look at, oh, you're a person who uses alcohol or uses marijuana or uses crack cocaine. We look at the why behind it. We look at what's happening with you, what are the feelings about it, the role of the mother. We look at so many different layers. So in order to remove or reduce that stereotype, we just want persons to see that woman as an individual who is just trying to get by day by day.
Yeah, and that's generally for individuals. And you mentioned school-age children as well. What about those individuals in the workplace struggling with addiction silently? Do you work with employment agencies, with companies to help individuals in that regard break the silence and seek out help?
Yes, we do. We do have in our wellness clinic, Marina Wellness Clinic, we actually provide outpatient or wellness packages for corporate companies where those companies can recommend or refer persons who are experiencing issues with drug substances, and they can come to us or we can go to them and provide wellness packages, empowering packages, or actually therapeutic interventions with them.
That's good stuff. Good stuff indeed. I mean, we hear about it. Sometimes people do suffer in silence, but when they have an outlet, like Marina House, to connect to, we have to give them the opportunity to do just that so that they can get the help which is required. How can people connect with Marina House?
All right, we have our hotline, 243-0038. That's our Verdant and Marina hotline. Once you call that hotline, it's 24 hours. The person will contact you to our Marina house lead, and she would direct you from there.
Simple.
Simple.
That's simple.
That's
is
simple.
there an online presence?
No. Well, we have our website, yes. So Verdant and Marina, verdantmarina.com, right? www.verdantmarina.com. You can reach us out there, but our 24-hour hotline at 243-0038.
And you did mention you are doing some things this week at the schools.
Yes, please.
Where can we find you? Which schools are you going to? I mean, they may be asking, this is Common Mere Month.
Not
just saying. But, you know, where will we find your team heading to what schools this week?
Well, we have a program with Ross University, and we're going to be at St. George Secondary School, as well as Lester Vaughan and Alexandra Secondary School this week.
All right.
Yesterday was at Alexandra, and today we're at Lester Vaughan, and during the rest of the week we're at St. George Secondary.
All right, Lester Vaughan, and then to these central parts, those central schools, Lester Vaughan and St. George Secondary. Verdant House, the team, they're coming to your school really to inform, educate, and help you to be aware of the dangers that are out there. Nicolette, you're doing great work.
Thank you very much.
You're doing great work. You want to shout out some of the members of your team? Because
of course.
I'm pretty sure it's a team that you work together, but it has to be a team effort.
Of course. Of course. I want to shout out our CEO, Marietta Carrington, our clinical director, Miss Alison Gotip, and our team, Jamonica, who is our house lead at Marina House. She holds down the fort. So Jamonica Beckles, Shanae, Kia, Latoya, the males who work with the women.
I was just going to say, all ladies.
I have Curtis, Neil, David, and Neil, who are men who are in recovery, who have years on top of years, who empower women and men every day. And we have so many other different staff members that support and empower women and men at Marina and Verdant.
Yeah, we got to help those people who are, you know, they don't know where to go for help. Again, some of them suffer in silence. It's all about trying to get back on your feet and get over addiction. Sometimes it's not an easy process. It's never an easy process, really. And sometimes the journey could be long.
Yes.
But once you can take a step each day, you know, the journey would get a bit shorter, and hopefully you would achieve success. Thank you so much, Nicolette, for coming and sharing with us. We look forward to seeing some of the sights and sounds of that interaction with these young girls as we continue to celebrate the International Day of the Girl Child. It's important that we recognize the dangers and the challenges facing young ladies out there. But we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
This morning. A lot more to come. We've got some art as well coming your way. A young man doing amazing things. We'll try to show you some of his artwork. Amazing murals popping up across Barbados. A stone's throw away from those of you in St. Michael's as well. So we'll tell you all about that coming up right here on the show. And of course, we'll keep you updated on this flash flood warning and tell you what's happening and what you need to look out for as you head out on your Tuesday morning. We want you to be safe out there. So we'll take a break and be back with more right here on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One. Your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely, and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Rolling up to 7:30, I'm pretty sure it's getting busy on those roads as people head out to school and to work and to the gym. Some people just go to the gym on the morning at this time as well. So whatever you're doing, I just want you to make sure that you pay attention on the roads and be safe. Safety is a priority. Please pay attention. Don't get distracted while you're driving. Breastfeeding is a conversation that has come up a lot recently, not only on the Pulse Radio show here on Mondays at 11 a.m. Of course, we have some interesting discussions there. But during August, it was designated by the team at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital as Breastfeeding Month. And Marlo St. Hill and Sharmina Curtin, two of our senior nurses, two of the senior nurses there, came here on Mornin Barbados speaking to Pearson to share some information about why it's so important for the nurturing of the nation. Breast milk is the best milk for babies and for their nourishment. And we want mothers to pay more attention to observing and understanding the practice of breastfeeding. So let's take a look at that conversation so mothers can get a better understanding of the importance of breastfeeding and the need to do it for babies for an extended period.
Hospital and the excellence of our medical personnel indeed. And so we're excited this morning to look at, in this month, at breastfeeding. And so we want to talk a little bit about the importance of you mothers ensuring that you take the time to breastfeed. And so joining me this morning is Marlo St. Hill, who is a senior nursing officer. She's also the coordinator of the QEH Baby Friendly Hospital Initiative. And with her is Shermina Curtin, herself a registered nurse and a midwife. And she's also a breastfeeding advocate. I really wonder what that means. But thank you so much for joining me, ladies, and have a very good morning. Now, Marlo, let's talk about with you first of all. Tell me a little bit about this initiative about making QEH breast family friendly. Baby family friendly.
Good morning, Pearson and team. Thank you for having us and making QH breastfeeding ready. This is nothing new. QH has been a designated baby friendly hospital since 1998. That was the first time we became baby friendly, designated in that way. And we went on in 2002, recertified, 2012, and then 2017. But as you know, COVID came. So is it important? Have we joined the ranks of the other 20,000 hospitals worldwide who are also breastfeeding? And I'm sure there are more by now. And that's in excess of 152 countries. 152 countries call themselves baby friendly. Yes? So when we,
what does it mean to have that designation? When we say you're baby friendly, what does that mean?
So I would want for you to know, Mr. Pearson, that
Pearson is fine.
Pearson is fine, thank you. So essentially, this is something that is of worldwide interest because it impacts on nations and the health and wellness of each nation. Okay? So essentially, when we have a baby-friendly hospital, we are supported at an international level by the relevant World Health Assemblies, WHO, UNICEF, and these are the four parents and the partners who come together, and these international bodies who recognize that there's an importance for this. So they have created a global strategy since 1991, and they have some major pillars to ensure that if you correctly follow these pillars and the instructions that they give, you can create baby friendly, because there's some figures behind it. You're talking 2.7 million deaths of children between 1 and age 5 per annum. You're talking 183,000 deaths between age 1 and 5 when you disrupt breastfeeding that is supposed to be exclusive between 0 and 6 months of age. Yes? So looking at the figures and the wellness of the children, WHO and UNICEF, they have set that global strategy to ensure that if you follow their guidelines, each country can attain successful and exclusive breastfeeding. And this is where we want to go with our institution again, as we are well en route to recertification again. So we've started in earnest, and we want to share information with our mothers and the nation out there, because this fight is not for just breastfeeding moms. We're here because it is a national fight, an international fight, to ensure that our children get optimal nutrition. Very important from the get-go. And if you get it right from the start, you know you don't build a house at the top. You don't start at the top, right, Pearson?
Yes, I do.
You start at the base. So when you have created the right type of foundation, you can now build on it. And we are calling on all stakeholders, governments, the policies that are put in place, all those who provide maternal and newborn services, John public, to be educated, to be aware. And with that level of empowerment, it means that we are on the right track to ensuring that the children of the nations are so well taken care of that we don't have to worry about those deaths. Too many deaths we have to fight with. And not only the deaths, we are talking about their illness and all the necessary comorbidities. We don't want that. We want the right type of foundation for the children from the get-go. And this is our role. This is why we're here. This is why we're excited to do this.
Indeed. And so this designation, because when you look at what happens in other spaces as well, who do not have the capacity that our hospital has, because they're challenged, whether because of expertise or a lack of funding to be able to do what to do, and it affects the life cycle of the births, indeed. And so this is why this designation is also equally important. We stand among a group of nations that can assure the rest of the world that we do provide a great start to our young people when they're born. And so this is important indeed for me. But breastfeeding now, sure, Mina, talk to me a little bit about that. You know, why is from the age 0 to 6 it is important that you spend time latching on to the breast to feed?
Breastfeeding is called the ideal food, the superfood, the only food that a baby needs from 0 to 6 months. It provides the baby's nutritional needs completely. So that's why we try to encourage mummies to give them the breast milk. If we compare breast milk to formula, breast milk and formula probably have 5 things in common. And then breast milk has in excess of 10 extra things: anti-parasites, antibodies, all the aunties. You know, everybody loves a good auntie. So aunties are always very nice. So we love to get all the aunties in, enzymes, the growth factors, all the things that help baby to grow, help baby's brain to develop, help protect baby's intestines so that they don't develop those non-communicable diseases that we are fighting now as adults and in our children in school age, that we are trying to help them not eat all these fast foods, etc. So that's what our encouraging breastfeeding does. That's what the breast milk of mothers do for their babies, and as sister said, for the nation, because it's not just the babies that we are helping, it is the entire nation that we're helping, our entire society. Less health costs, less sick days home for the parents of sick children. Those are the reasons that we do it.
Some mothers will say to you they have a fussy baby who does not want to latch on and to nurse. And so is the hospital providing teaching, training, so that they can help coach that child or mother to feel comfortable doing what should come naturally?
Yes, we do. We do antenatal teaching in our antenatal clinics. We do that every session. Our mothers are normally taught something about antenatal, either one-on-one or in group sessions. We also have Wednesday sessions where they can come back and have one-on-one again. We do teaching at delivery. We practice what we call skin to skin, which is early initiation of breastfeeding, right? It allows mummies to get early latch, babies to smell the mummy's breast, which reminds them of the liquor, the water they were in, and know, oh, I need to go here. When they latch early, research says that they have a longer time of breastfeeding. Okay, so we practice that on our labor ward. On our postnatal wards, they are taught. They have midwives around the clock that can assist them, and we try to just support them, whatever they need. We are there to help them to breastfeed.
Some mothers say, I understand the benefit to the child, but this child is dragging me down. Or 1 or 2. It's painful. So talk to that mother who has those kinds of reactions.
Okay, let's talk about the pain first. If we're having pain, breastfeeding is not supposed to cause pain unless there is a malformation, orofacial malformation of the baby, like cleft lip, cleft palate, tight tongue, tight lip ties. Okay, but that's not our normal occurrence. So if you're having pain breastfeeding, it means that there's an issue with the way the baby has latched onto the breast, right? If we run our tongue from the back of our teeth to our mouth, the back of our mouth, we will feel our hard palate and it gets softer. What happens when you get pain is that the nipple ends on the hard palate. But for a good latch, the baby's nipple needs to get right to the back. So they have to get all on the areola, which is that darkened tissue behind the nipple. And when that happens, you have a comfortable nursing experience. So my thing is, if you're having pain, reach out for help. That means something is wrong. Dragging you down, it depends on what they mean. Are they talking about their breasts?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have to find another way to say
Oh,
it.
yes. So, yes, that is one of the things that they normally see. But then they don't. That's genetics.
Okay.
That's genetics. If you're going to have saggy breasts in the future, that's going to happen unless you want to have some kind of reconstruction, right? But there are also other benefits to mommy outside of your sagging breast.
Good. And I'm glad you're saying that because that's where we want to go next.
Yes.
What are those benefits to the mother?
There is a reduced risk for her to have breast cancer and ovarian cancer. There's a research that says for every 13 plus months of breastfeeding, ovarian cancer is reduced by 63%. And for every 12 months of breastfeeding, breast cancer is decreased by 4.3%.
And what about GDM?
And those diabetic mummies that would have been diabetic in pregnancy, they have a lower risk.
47% decreased rate that you would not develop diabetes type 2 if you breastfeed just for the first 6 months. 6 months as a gestational diabetic mom, and you breastfeed, you have decreased your risk by 47%. And we're here fighting non-communicable issues at a national level, trying to prevent mommies from being diabetic and struggling to help them manage their condition. Why start it when breastfeeding can do so much? So there's so many benefits to just that. I mean, the research is out there. Yeah, osteoporosis, the bone density is improved. Yeah, you can do improved spacing your children, lactational amenorrhea. All these are benefits from breastfeeding. So do the women know? We are, do you know?
Do the men know?
Exactly. So we are teaching, we are out there all in earnest, ensuring that the public, the maternal, the mommies who come from maternal services, we want to inform them. And we are here because this drive in this month, we have taken breastfeeding the month, August 1st to 7th, well, the week, I should say, promoting breastfeeding and creating sustainable systems. We are at the stage where we have expanded this to the whole month because we want to do a level of sensitization to all who would listen and ensure that my child is going to be intelligent. Mr. Pearson, did I tell you that there is... Did I tell you that there's a dollar figure of $302 billion US dollars coming out of successfully breastfed children? So there's an economy that is represented at $302 billion. So what am I talking about? So when you have a well breastfed child, exclusively breastfed from 0 to 6 months, no water, no nothing else, no food, and then you introduce your complementary feeds beyond 6 months, because they do get 100% of all their nutritional needs up to 6 months just from breastfeeding. So you haven't got to pull your pockets. Ladies should know that everything you want is in that breast milk up to 6 months. And then if you go up to year 1, you were talking about the sagging breast, but up to year 1, a child gets 50% of their actual nutritional needs from breast milk. And up to year 2, 33%, just about 1/3. So that's significant. That's a cost impact for our nations. Why are we going to the shelves? So I wanted to share with you that cost. So when you have a child that is well bonded, a child that is very educated, they usually have a higher IQ than the average child who has not breastfed. You understand? So they're not using the breast milk substitute. So they're very intelligent and they tend to do better academically. So with this in mind, they go on and they do better at their studies and they have higher paying jobs. And this is where the $3.2 billion annually, I should say annually, comes out, because you have persons who are earning higher. You understand? So that's at an international level, $3.302 billion US dollars. And that's just from making sure that we have set the foundation right. So when I'm telling you that we're here to engage the stakeholders, we're here, come to us, you can ask us the question. We are going to follow those 10 steps set out by World Health Organization and the World Health Assemblies, we are going to follow that international code for marketing a breast milk substitute. I want for you to understand that there's an elephant in the room. And all of us have at some point in time had breastfeeding. So it's nothing new. But let's talk about that elephant in the room where you have the breast milk substitute companies and we call it formula.
You know what? I'll let you do that elephant on radio. Because starting on Monday on Q100.7 FM, the Pulse Radio Show resumes. All the time. That's why the Pulse Radio Show resumes. It's there on your screen, folks. And so they're looking at a whole host of things. And we want to encourage.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur or
morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So here on Mornin Barbados, over the past few days, we've been catching up with the artists doing great work across the country. You may see many great artworks, many murals. You may not know the faces behind these works of art. Well, I have two of the faces behind many of those that you've been seeing right across the country. Shane here right next to me, and Vaughn Hall and Shane Eastman. Good to have you back on the show. I mean, it's a reunion of sorts, man.
Of course.
This is a reunion. Yeah, for sure. Good to have you on. And we're also going to be doing a little masterpiece here that the guys brought for me to complete.
Correct. Get that special touch.
Yeah. But great to have you guys on, man. What have you been up to? It's good to catch up to hear about your work. I mean, we've been seeing it popping up. But just to hear about the process. What have you been working on, Shane?
Well, most recently, my biggest project to date was the mural at the Barbados Community College at the art department.
Nice.
And that was sponsored by Koyman, and it's been such an honor to, be able to add love to the place that helped develop my skill and my mission so well. So I'm very excited about that. Right now is a season of a lot of commissioned work, which I'm very grateful for. There's a lot of time spent in the studio. I'm a resident at the gallery in Lime Grove, so I go there and I paint and I mingle with my clients and meet new people. It's very nice right now.
Big up BCC though.
Absolutely.
BCC helped to shape all of us. I believe, in various fields. Vaughn, we've been seeing your murals as
That's
well.
correct.
And you were working with a special project which is connected to the schools as well.
That's correct. I was working alongside the National Peace Program because my new area is to get the community involved, right? And the reason I went for the National Peace Program is because they had a height in terms of violence and crime prevention. So my idea for that was to create peace initiative using the community to come out, whereas they have an activity whereas you can bond, you can be friendly, creating a positive message within the community while creating the mural. You know, that way residents can come out and take photo opportunities in front of it. Very interactive, very good for the public. We've been able to execute one already at the LSD Secondary School, and you can definitely look out for more.
And just here at the SJPI, that's also a bit of teamwork here.
So
yeah, there's actually a collab that we had.
Yeah.
The very first actually on a mural project.
And our biggest work right now. So
I mean, these things are huge. These things are, I mean, talk about the process. What goes into building out a mural? Something that, you know, has to stand the test of time. We got showers, you know, like today we got a flash flood warning. These things have to take the weather, the heat, and still stay there telling a story.
Well, special thank you to Koyman for such quality paint. You know, Do It Best has always been with us throughout the years as well. We usually just spend a lot of time conceptualizing with our clients or whoever we're working with. We would do a digital, and then we do our drafting process on the murals. And then we just get to pick selecting our materials well, you know, because SJPA is still as vibrant as the first day we did it, you know, and so is BCC.
And that would have survived hurricanes and the ashfall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, quality materials is actually the way to go.
Yeah. It also comes down to expertise too. You have to know the materials, you know, we are masters of our craft in our rights to say right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that helps a lot.
Right tools, right materials.
Okay, so any upcoming projects that Barbadians can look out for that would really, you know, take them by
Well, I would just like to say my brother here has been painting on canvas now more so than before. His work is extraordinary, and I know he's looking to fill a space sometime soon.
No. I consider myself a mural specialist.
Yeah.
But I dabble in with paintings, and you will soon too.
Yeah, so I'll get the opportunity to do this one here, right here, before your very own eyes. My artwork.
We're here to get that special touch from you.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Always, I like the cup half full. I like the cup half full. Although this cup might break. But, I mean, I love to see the work that you do. You have such individual styles, but they always come together as well, because two of you do collab on several projects.
That's correct.
Any collaborations that we can look out for?
Well, what we are considering, because we have been getting word from the public saying that they need more art events, but we also wanted to wrap that around our auctions, which is new, and charity as well. So it's kind of like a give back. So that's the initiative that we're going to be heading in that direction very, very soon.
And speaking about art auctions, I mean, this is your job.
Yeah.
This is what pays the bills. And I mean, each piece of work is a standalone. Sometimes they come in, you know, as you say, collabs or multiple pieces. In terms of getting youngsters connected to the world of art and to understanding its viability as a profession, is that something that is easy to do here in Barbados?
I think everything starts with drive and an initiative. You know, there's no one method to success, but there's definitely a case of being able to apply yourself to something that you want to do. I mean, I think human beings are unlimited in being able to learn and apply themselves to anything. If I wanted to learn how to fly a plane, I could go and learn that. If I wanted to learn how to paint, I could learn that. There's so much information out there on the internet. There's so many people that we have access to. It's not as separated as you think, you know. We're a message away. Tutors are a message away. There's lots of advice. There's a lot of methods to follow.
All right, so we'll come back and talk a bit more about that mentorship side of things. We'll take a dabble with the painting as well, and we'll show you this masterpiece that we're about to create here on Mornin Barbados. You'll want to see this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So I've started with my work on this masterpiece here. Talk a bit about this work of art. What are we seeing here?
This one here has a very unique finish because if the cameras can pick up these little specks, these are called diamond dust. What it does, it adds little accents of highlights, especially when the light hits it, it captures a little glow.
Okay.
So speak about highlights though. This is what you're doing. You're adding highlights to the piece.
Right.
You following the motions of the brushstrokes like we showed you.
Right, following the motions of the brushstrokes.
Correct.
So the wrist like it's too flexible.
See, here you got your shadows and your highlights. Now you're bringing the piece forward. And
So
that's a special touch we need from you.
What goes into building out something like this? How long would this take?
Well, for me...
And is this from scratch?
Yeah, this is from scratch. For me, this is like a night's work. And that's,
one night?
Yeah, well, it come through years of trial and error and knowing exactly how to shortcut with the most beneficial outcome.
Do you name your pieces?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, we do.
Very much on the fly.
On the fly?
Yeah.
On the fly.
So what would we call this one?
We can come up with a name for it.
All right. So come on, you give me some options. You see them, so I had a brush stroke. And they were very careful to give me white paint.
Just white only. Just white only.
Can't omit anything.
So the price just went up, by the way, because this is a Celino.
Correct.
So we call this a Celino?
A Celino?
A Celino. There we go.
Yeah, Celino. All right. So the Celino.
It's all in the wrist?
Yeah, and I mean, look, these things, when you see them, and art is all about interpretation.
That's correct.
Talk a bit about the mentorship side. I really wanted to get into that because you mentioned going into schools and doing the murals, but I'm pretty sure that the youngsters seeing you on the job doing what you do best, they come, they ask questions.
Well, this is an initiative we had from way back in the days of our art events where we used to invite new upcoming artists for publicity. And I also do that with my murals as well. Even like the students that would attend the Barbados Community College, I would bring one on board. You know, they would join me, they would learn the experience. A real life hands-on situation that they can learn from. Of course, they're paid. You know, artists should be paid. We can agree on that.
Do you think that's an issue that we face in the industry, that people don't think that you need to be paid for such great work?
Well, it is an issue, but it stems further than just visual arts in this case, because art in terms of like music and different crafts of expression, they all face that as well.
All right, so we'll stay and finish this piece. Of course, you'll get to see Vaughn and Shane right here again. I'm bringing you all back this week, by the way. We're setting up something for Friday. We're going to do something we did in the past. We're going to paint, but we're going to sip as well.
Lovely.
We'll paint and sip right here on morning.
You got that covered.
Like the old ways, the old times, man. Good to have you both on. And also good to share these moments with you right here on Mornin Barbados. We learn how to paint, We learn about so many different things. It's about taking you through that morning experience. So I'll be seeing you tomorrow, you know the time, 6 a.m. on your Wednesday, to take you through what is another great 2 hours here with you on Mornin Barbados. We'll see you then.
Barbados, get up. Good morning.